Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and today we are going to do another page in our Altered Magazine Creative Journal. If you haven't seen how I made this journal, there is a playlist called Altered Magazine Creative Journal, and all of the work that we do in this journal I'm including in that playlist. So if you want to join in at any time, you are more than welcome to. So today we're going to do some grid journaling. I have picked a page, a very simple one right here. What I love about this page is the monochrome background. By the time we've finished, you're going to see very little of this background. Grid journaling would also be great on like a page that's just full of words, or it can be a very colourful background. It doesn't matter. I'm quite partial to this one, and all I've done is I've taken a simple piece of copy paper. Use any paper you like. If you want to use coloured paper, you can too. Once you get a hang of how grid journaling works, there are no rules. You do whatever you like. But I tend to like to start with a white base, and also because I've got this monochrome style background, I think the white should work really well. Then what you do is you just measure here and measure here. Then just do some simple maths and work out, okay, I think I can fit 4 across. So how big do I need to make them? In my case, I think the narrowest part of this was 16 centimetres, or just over 16 centimetres. So I've cut mine at about 4 centimetres square. It's a judgment thing. You don't have to be too perfect about it. If all of the little bits showing are not even, honestly, by the time you add all the little bits to it, no one's even going to notice that. And that's what this journal's all about, though, is letting perfection go and just having some creative fun. So I worked out I'm going to fit 4 across, and I'm going to go 4 down. And yes, there'll be some of this showing, but that doesn't matter. That's the whole idea of this. So I'm just going to grab my glue stick and we're going to glue all these down, and when they're done, I will be back and we'll start doing some fun stuff. So all of my squares are down, and the reason why I used my trusty Uhu glue stick for this job and not a wet glue is because magazine paper and copy paper are quite thin, and if you use wet glue you increase the risk of lumps and bumps and the paper getting a bit warpy. You put it down with glue stick and it goes down nice and smooth. So that's the easy way to deal with that. I now have 16 grids, and what we're going to do is we're going to decorate each one of these grids, and we'll put a few things in that sort of unite them together, but each one can be its own little work of art. So the first thing I've done, I've grabbed my little pouch here. Now I would love to keep every scrap, but honestly that gets ridiculous. But every now and then when I remember and I have leftover bits, I have 2 of these little pouches. These are just pencil cases that I've had for years. I have one that I call neutrals. So this is the neutrals one, black, white, tan, anything along those lines. And then I also have another one full of coloured scraps. Sometimes you just need cute little bits, and instead of having to destroy a new sheet just because you want a tiny bit, if you keep a little pouch handy like this, you can have fodder to use at any time, and it's quick and it's easy. So what I did, I went through that little pouch and I've just grabbed a few little bits that I'm going to play with. So I decided, seeing I have this monochrome background, I'm going to start filling my base with some monochrome scraps. I will add some colour later, but I'm just going with this theme. By all means, do whatever you like. If you want it very colourful or you want to pick just one colour, you do whatever you want, and don't panic if you don't have little bits like this. This is all these things other than magazines and that are bits that I've made with leftover paint and stuff like that. Just use what you have. Sometimes the quickest way to you not do a project is because you don't think you have the same things that I do and that you can't do it. Just use what you have. Anything will work for this. So the whole aim of this is to take little pieces and we start gluing them down. It's a very simple process. Let me start with these little spots here. They're not stripes, they're spots. So we're just going to take a little piece. The goal is that it has to fit inside the box. Now, one thing, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I'm an absolute lover of things hanging over edges and stuff like that. This particular project, you're not supposed to do that, and that's the only rule that I actually enforce because it makes me do something that goes against my grain. Okay, so do whatever you like, but I'm going to try and play this properly. So all my little black and white pieces are down. They're all very random and they make a great base. Now, the next thing I want to do before I add any colour, I'm going to continue on the theme. I have grabbed this cool stencil that I got off Temu. It's a little grungy. It's just going to make some interesting marks. Now, I don't need to be too paranoid if I accidentally go across and touch down into my borders because it's quite dark. If you want to preserve your borders and have them looking pristine, which is how they're meant to be, you can simply cut out a scrap piece of paper, cut out a square to match, and then you place this on top and work on each piece. And that way, anything that goes over the edge is going to go onto here. So I'm just going to have a little play. I'm going to add a few marks. I've got my trusty little paint plate out here. I'm going to put a little bit of black paint out. And so I can keep some control, I'm going to use a little dauber to make the marks. So I'm going to try and, you know, keep within the boundaries and just daubing it really well. I don't need a lot of paint. And we're just going to have a go at adding a few marks. And I'll try and be good. See, how did that turn out? Yep, that's perfect. Didn't go anywhere it shouldn't. We can go down to the next one. And we just work our way around here. This is a great stencil because it's sort of got all sorts of different marks on it. I think it's pretty cool. But of course, use what you have. Now we're going to go here. Do this bit. I want this nice sort of semicircle little bit happening here. Then maybe a bit of this. Trying to keep my dauber pretty dry. It's easier to go over things again, but if you have too much paint and you end up with too many marks, it will possibly bleed. And we want to try and avoid that. Not that it would matter so much with what I'm doing here, because this has got sort of quite a grungy look to it. I just want to add a bit of interest. Can't hardly see that bit there. We might add a little bit more down in this corner. How does that look? Oh, that's better. Now, where are we going? Let's have some more dots down here. Maybe a tiny bit more just down on the edge here. That will do. Now, if we go like this, and then I'll just run it all down. Won't even lift it up and move it all around. Let's see how this turns out. That's okay. Again, no rules, just play, see what happens. And just if you do have a bit of leaky paint or you don't really like something, just remember there's more layers to come. So anything you don't like, you can simply cover up. Okay, that looks great. I'm just going to let that dry just for a few minutes and then we will continue on. So while I was allowing my acrylic paint to dry, I took the opportunity to wash my stencil. Acrylic paint dries so quickly. If you want to keep your stencils looking pretty nice, I suggest you wash them pretty quickly. Otherwise, they'll be stained. I do have a few stencils that look revolting because I forgot to wash them, and it doesn't stop them from working, but just if you want to keep yours looking nice, give them a quick wash, and it just gives the acrylic paint a little bit of time to dry. Now we want to add some colour, and I'm going to do it in a really easy way. I grabbed my little colour scrap pack, all sorts of fun little bits in here, and I grabbed my circle punch and I grabbed my hole punch. Very simple, and just made a few little pieces to add to this. They're on the bright side. I've decided we're going the complete opposite to our monochrome. We're going to add some bright colour. This is literally just scraps, and these larger ones I've cut in half because I think whole circles might be a bit big and might be a bit dominating. So I thought, let's just do half circles and see where we get to. So I'm not worried about paper wrinkling now. So a lot of these are sort of cardstock, or a couple of them are on the thin side, but I'm just going to use this glue because it's easier. And all we're going to do is stick them down randomly all over the place and add a bit of colour to our creation here. And I think, yep, we might go right up the top there for this one. So I'm sort of going to head for the blankest sort of area where there's not much that's going to be hidden with my little coloured bits. There we go. Next. And we're just going to randomly put them around wherever we feel like it, until we think we're done. Now, some of these are cardstock. Some of these, this one here, for example, is a little painty scrap of some stripes that I had painted on to a piece of paper with some leftover paint. Great way to not waste paint is to just throw it on bits of paper, and then when you want to add a dash of colour to something, you're ready to go. Let's see, put that right up there. If you collect gift wrap, instead of throwing it out when people give you presents, that can often be a great way to get some fun little colourful pieces if you don't have scrapbooking supplies or journaling supplies. It's always something you can use. Greeting cards can be another one. Can often get some great little colour areas on greeting cards. Make sure your friends save you their cards and don't toss them when they have finished with them, because they are great for crafting. And especially sometimes you just want nice little bits. Greeting cards can provide all sorts of fabulous fodder. Don't forget magazine images. This one here, that's from a magazine. It's a little scrap of a pretty flower that I had used part of, but I didn't want to waste that one flower. I thought, oh, it might come in handy one day. Lo and behold, she found somewhere to use it, didn't she? She's a bit like that. I am a bit of a hoarder, but I have limits. Like those little pouches, if they're full, then no more is going in them until I have actually used some of it up. Got to draw the line somewhere. No, let's go. No, we're going down here again. I like that spot right there. Oh, this is quite cute on both sides. How about we do one side and one the other? That's a good idea. Don't mind the look of that at all. How are we going? Oh, we've got a few left. So I'll just sort of try and I wonder if I've got enough for each one. I don't actually know. Doesn't matter. We will use until we have none left. How are we going? Oh, there's a rogue one that's just tried to run away. Okay. Yep, let's put this right down there. Okay, so we've got 2 big ones left. Okay, so we don't have quite enough. That's okay. It's no big deal. We don't have to have one on every one. I'll put that one down here. Okay. I think we'll go down here with this one. And then now we've just got these couple little ones left. And let's make sure we add one, firstly, to all the bits that don't have one of the half circles in it. Of course, I can always make more if I decide I need more. Now, here we go. Nice little bright bit in there. Down here now needs something, maybe in there. Honestly, you could go on for days doing this. It's fun. I just love using up scraps. I find it very rewarding. Giving everything a new lease on life. What's left? 2 tiny ones left. Okay. Where are they going now? Oh, decisions. Okay, we might put one up here. Put the bright yellow one right there. And lucky last, what have we got? It's orange with a little bit of gold. Where do I want this one? Maybe down here. There we go. Voila. Looking good. Let that dry for a minute, and then we're moving on to the next step. This is a layer upon layer game. For the next layer, we are just going to use some markers. Grab whichever sort of markers you've got. This one is from a company, I don't think they exist anymore. It's a twin brush marker from Iron Lac. They used to have this beautiful store in Brisbane City. You walked in and everything was, all the walls were black. And then they had all these fabulous art supplies. But of course, they went out of business, unfortunately. But I have a few markers that I have purchased. And I'm just going to do simple things like adding some layers of little marks. Very simple. but I loved this colour. I thought it was perfect for this. We're just doing some little lines. And then you can stop whenever you like, or you can just keep going and have some colourful fun, adding marks wherever you feel there's a blank spot that you would like to fill. So that's some nice hot pink. Then the next one, I think we might go with yellow. This is one of these newer Sharpie creative markers. They're like a pen marker, and this one's in yellow. So let's add some yellow dots around the place. Any marker will work. You can also use gel pens. You can use pencils. Just use what you have. You can use paint and just use a fine brush or something round to add some marks. Right, what have I got next here? I have another Sharpie. This is also one of these creative markers, but they come in thick and thin. Honestly, these things are fabulous. I adore them. Let's add a few little stripes with this one. It's a little bit thinner, so stripes work well. See, they go well over the black as well as the white. These are really great fun. So glad I bought these. And I have recently discovered, thanks to a YouTube video that I watched not long ago, that they come now in a new set that I didn't see when I first purchased these, and they're all earth tones. I think I could have a lot of fun with those, so I'm going to try and track down a set of those in the very near future. Can you just see? They actually work really well on black. Look at that. I love it. I'm trying to, I'm doing weird things with my hands because I'm trying not to put my hand down on the wet marker lines because it's pretty hot here today, and I'm worried I will smudge things. There we go. And the last one I grabbed, I just randomly grabbed them. This one is another creative marker, this time in bright red. And I thought we could just a few little easy plus signs. See how lovely the coverage is on these things. Honestly, they are delightful. They're not cheap, but I think they are a really good investment if you like doing mixed media type things, because they are just a delight to use and you get such good coverage. And another thing I'm going to add, I went through my washi tape. I wanted to use a little bit of washi tape, and I found this fabulous fluoro and gold one, and I thought, why not add a few bits of this in? I'm just going to cut that end bit off though, because it was sort of rolled up a bit. I gather it won't be very sticky. And what I'm going to do, let's see, where would I like to add a bit of this? I might just put, so for example, if we put a little bit across here, I'm just going to add a few little dots of glue, because some of my washi tapes, honestly, I've had for an incredibly long time, And I don't think they're as sticky as they should be anymore. So if you just put a little bit of glue down, it just saves them from lifting up, which they will do pretty quickly, I think. Because I know I've had this one for a long time. But it's a fun one for things like this because I'm sort of going very bright here. Where can I add a little bit more? Maybe across here. I have so much washi, and I do often forget to use it in craft projects, which is silly. So glad I remembered when I was collecting goodies to make this page with. See, it's got this little bit now has spots on it. The other bit had stripes, so that was perfect. Then maybe a little bit across here. That should do it. Looking great. Loving this. And I just have one final thing I want to add to this page, and that is a few little splatters. I'm not going to go over the top, I don't think, but I would love some. So here's my little deodorant tray that I grabbed from work. My favourite gold ink. This is from Temu. It's actually gold calligraphy ink, and it is stunning and shiny, and I can't live without it. And we're going to add a bit of water. And I'm just going to grab my little fan brush and give this a nice little swirl around. And then I'm going to grab a pencil and just very gently add some splatters. And you'll see I have put some baking paper down here. I always do that just to protect what's underneath, even though I can have gold splatters on everything and I would be perfectly happy with that. But maybe the next page that I'm going to do doesn't need splatters. So there we go. I think we'll call it quits with that. Don't need to overdo it. Now I might just pull this out, and I might just give you a little bit of a close-up and see how each of these little squares have come up. See, it's just lots of little marks, and you can just keep going with this as much as you want, and each one is its own tiny little piece of artwork. This is such a fun thing to do with scraps. Use whatever you have some colourful fun. The other things you could think about using here, if you have small magazine cutouts, stickers is another one. Little stickers that you may have in your stash could be a perfect addition. Look, it's never ending. Just anything small that you can cut up or tear up can be glued down, and it's a really fun project. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments box below. And if you could please give this video a thumbs up, I would be very grateful. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye for now.